Hey guys, it's Marshall Tingle with your Superior Ag Insurance Ringside Report for this past week, the week of January 9th through the 14th. So I can tell you right now, runs were drastically larger across the state of Kentucky this past week. This is our second week back in business for the year. And the first part of the year, first week of being back in business, pretty soggy. This week, it was still a little soggy on the back half of the week, but guys sure enough brought their loads to town, and these prices were rocking. So as far as your feeder cattle are concerned, I'm going to call your steer cattle anywhere from $2 to $6 higher. Some instances of steady to $4, but probably $2 to $6 higher on the whole lot of them. Now your heifers, they're going to be $2 to $4 higher across the board. You did see some instances of them being steady as well, and actually some instances of being $2 to $4 lower. But as a whole, I'm going to call them probably $2 to $4 higher. Now let's talk about some six-weight cattle. I'm not going to talk about 4s and 5s this week. I just want to talk about 6s, just like we'd be putting them in to make a load of them. Six-weight steer cattle this week, you're looking at about $1.50 to $1.80 on those. And that's going to cover just about every place on them. You had some a little bit higher at $1.83 on the top, and some a little lower at $1.45, just based on quality and condition. But as a whole, $1.50 to $1.80 is what it's going to cost you to put in a load of six-weight steer cattle. Now, let's talk about these loads. Loads were pretty good. There was a lot of loads come to town, a lot of big loads of cattle come to town as far as big cattle are concerned. And these prices are pretty rocking. So let's look at this real fast. So start off here on your set of light 8s. Here's 64 head of these. These are all black steers, 803 pounds on the average, $1.81. So that's going to be right there actually above the CME feeder cattle index on those on a set of lights. That's pretty good. Now go to your mids. Here's 63 head of them. These are all black steers as well, 829 pounds on the average, looking at $1.78. Kind of getting back more on par of what we've seen, but probably still up just a little bit from what they were last week. Now here's your mids. Here's 59 head of these. These are black-hatted steers as well, 858 pounds on the average, $1.7475. So staying pretty consistent on trend as far as how we're seeing things. Now here's your big heavies, heavy 8s. Here's 59 head of these. These are all black steers as well, 878 pounds on the average, $1.72 flat. So that's what you're looking at as far as 8 weights as a whole, and that's going to be pretty consistent. Like I said, this market's been pretty tight based upon location and where you're at as far as it's just pretty tight. That's all I can say. Now, I will say this. There have been 2 really outstanding loads as far as trade and price goes. Here's 2 sets of them now. 2 sets of steers. They weigh between 836 and 838. So right there stacked on top of them came from the same consignor. They topped out at $1.8370. That is a booming price. That's about almost $4 over what your CME feeder cattle index is, and that's a really good sign. That's a really good trade on set of Kentucky cattle. But talking about that CME feeder cattle index, here's what it is for the week. So Monday the 9th, CME feeder cattle index was 180.98. Now Tuesday the 10th, 182.32. It's going to be Wednesday the 11th, 182.36. And then we got Thursdays where we're going to close off because we haven't been able to report for the Martin Luther King holiday. Thursday the 12th, 182.03. So pretty tight comparison on your CME feeder cattle index versus your Kentucky trade this week. Market looks good. Looks like it's going to increase if you ask me. But if you have any questions about an LRP policy, a livestock risk protection policy, feel free to reach out to Ian. That's Ian Thomas at Superior Ag Insurance. Ian Thomas, 859-613-2453. Check him out on the web, www.superioragins.com. Thank you kindly. Stay dry. Talk to you next week.